And speaking of busted bikes, welcome to the Real Stupid Review Show.
You ever take it off any sweet jumps?
I'm here with Cody, Eddie, Izzy, myself, and Nick. We're here for the real quick review of KAILI Blues? Kiwi Blues?
KAILI.
Broken clock is right twice a day, or broken clocks are right all the time, because time, past, present, future, are an illusion. What even is time? You will find out and discuss in this review, which was suggested by IZZY. Izzy, can you tell the people why you chose this movie and roll into your amazing criticism? Por favor.
No, but I watched this movie by accident a while back, a Canopy app that I'm gonna rep again. If you have a library card and you don't have as much money as me, you don't have friends to mooch off of, you can get this, and you can watch 15 movies for free a month. So I was messing around looking for stuff to watch, and that movie came up, and I said, "Fuck it," and I watched it, and I was like, "What the hell is this? This was sick." The plot of this movie is kind of simple. Like, if I'm going to give a quick synopsis, there is a man, and he is looking for his missing nephew. Now that I have my synopsis, should I just jump into like what I think?
Go for it, bro. It's Amber Alert the movie. Proceed.
The floor is yours, baby.
Okay.
What are you saying?
The floor is yours, baby.
No, what? Amber Alert?
Yeah, there's a missing child. No. I said this is Amber Alert the movie. Never. I was making a stupid joke. Don't ever listen to me, Cody.
Like,
just let me say my
phone,
shenanigans.
Like, shit, am I missing something happened?
Sorry, as you proceed.
So one of my favorite things about this movie is it's very like dreamy, kind of misty like quality, which is one of my like favorite things. I used to study a lot of like Eastern philosophy, and that whole way of thinking has that kind of ethereal, like spacey time. And this movie really, really manages to achieve that. So some background on the director. Before this, he was a poet. And the movie is actually very much structured the way a poem is structured. I guess I'll give a quick example just so the audience can understand what I'm saying. A shot will open up with a pail of water, a little dripping into a bucket, and a ball being bounced and then lost. The shot, after enough happens, will end now with a waterfall and a disco ball. So it's kind of like you're changing from that small drip to the large, and that, the small like bouncing ball to this bigger like hypnotizing like twirl. And the movie is littered with that. There are also a lot of other things I really appreciated. One, which is a little more distant from what people are going to probably get on the first viewing, is the other 40% of what China is in comparison to the mainstream like version of China we see on TV. China, similar to South Korea, is very fucking split on how fast there's like a progression in technology and like the changing of like their cities and their growth. Both of them have this modern like high tech side that's just booming forward, and the other half are people that are struggling to get by and like adapt to this changing system. And I don't often see Chinese movies dealing with that, because you usually don't want to show that, and not, I think, in a negative way. Like, it's just showing it, no shot is really wasted. It's all like symbolic. There's like a ton of motifs, you got water dripping, you got a disco ball, you got broken fans, you got the trains, you got all of these like different like themes and motifs running around. You go back at the end, and the guy's on a train, and as he's going forward, or as there's another train like moving past him, and on this train is a clock that's been drawn on every single cart. And as he's going forwards, the other train is reversing time backwards, similar to that, going back in that full circle, just like that small little amusement park train, just like the themes of like the movie about time being like all fucking everywhere. I love shit like that.
I also want to say, when you did this little move there, that's exactly how I hugged my prom date. It was like,
perfect,
It's like
that's it. It's everything's twisting around.
Exactly.
So right over my head, for me, it was a little bit more of like a deep dive into the emotional turmoil of the main character, Chen. It was almost reminiscent of like how Dante and Dante's Inferno just wandered throughout, experiencing a bunch of different like emotions and sins and fears. It's kind of like watching a man made out of wood try to integrate itself into society. It was really interesting, and I did guess while I was watching the movie that the director was most likely from KAILI. because you can see just like right in the picture how much love and appreciation was put into his hometown and the people of his hometown. If a man like Izzy here has this many things to say and raves about this person this much, then it's definitely worth something.
So in lieu of just kind of talking about it, because watching this movie sort of felt like jumping in the ocean and not knowing where the bottom is, I decided to write a hopefully not too pretentious, but probably pretty pretentious review.
Super pretentious.
You gotta say it like a guy on a yacht who's about to drink a little bit of
Pinkies
scotch.
out, boys.
Pinkies out.
Be Gone's KAILI Blues is art. It's more art than entertainment even. And that's not to say that I wasn't thoroughly entertained, but it really stands out as an artistic vision first and foremost. If I had to use one word to explain what it's like to delve into Gone's psyche, the word would be resonance. The dreamy visuals and smooth camera work in the opening act give the feeling of wandering an old art gallery, taking in the massive framed works, paired with the short, intimate, and almost voyeuristic vignettes of background scenes and characters, gives a feeling of watching the other patrons of the gallery go about their journey and them seeing each brushstroke entirely different than yourself. Elegant and natural transitions from moment to moment feel like a meticulously choreographed ballet floating through space and time alongside Chen as he gets lost in his own search. The remarkably quiet film takes on this feeling of an orchestral performance in the first half, with every beat feeling meaningful and clean, but the silence between them being more important than the beat itself. When Chen gets on the back of that one motorcycle for his journey into that small riverside town, the scene gets flipped on its head with the electric energy of a New Orleans quartet, each note coming straight from the heart, repeating themselves over and over, but never quite the same, as elements are morphed like a musician playing to their crowd. I think that part of the human condition is to never feel entirely understood, in part because you never understand yourself. KAILI Blues manages to bring this feeling to life and share with us both the anxiety of our inability to understand and our common connection through a mutual lack thereof. We don't know much about consciousness, but we know the mind goes absolutely haywire at the end of a person's life. People have recounted the flooding back of memories, vivid dreams, and out-of-body experiences. I can't help but think that Begon had that on his mind when crafting his debut film. KAILI Blues has depth far beyond what I've been able to decipher on a single viewing, and that's something that will be bringing me back again in the future, present, or past, and maybe I'll never fully grasp it. 5 out of 5.
Mr. Nick, thank you for joining us, the show. We already had, the more pompous reviews, I would say. Oh no, we've been infiltrated. No. Just as I was about to start talking shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Jess. Well, we're recording Nick's KAILI Blues review. I was basically saying, now that we got the pompous reviews out of the way, let's get into some. We're gonna talk, blues, factory worker, the common man take, the opinions.
There's something to be said about the formula of getting your friends and family to help with a movie. Like, I really thought that was unique after finishing the film, and I think that that's what made it successful. Is it had people bought into it. It had a large crowd. And it was very groundbreaking for what it was. And I think that's a really good thing to stick to. And it's a really cool thing if you're able to get that many people to buy into it. All that being said, though, I had to do a lot of digging to really understand it. Luckily, I had friends that really enjoyed it. And they're like, this is the meaning of it. It's like time traveling. For me, it felt like a long YouTube video, and I was just kind of going through this person's blogging session, the long take that was 40-minute long, where they're going literally through the back streets and everything. I thought that was really cool, but it was also very boring. The best way I could put it was just such a grind. I guess from a different spectrum, it was very art house, and it was very organic. But even after understanding it, even that little spike that's cool, I'm still never going to watch it again. I could respect it for being good, but that even being said, 2 stars.
I'm going to preface this, whatever thing I say during the review. It's a lot of this is not verbatim, but this is me regurgitating the little bits I read there. But according to this, the disco ball in the beginning, which apparently reappears a couple of times, is kind of like a pendulum to kind of get you in that dream state. Once you're in the oneer, it does, like you're saying, you're kind of there. There is no escape. There is no real, the edit doesn't let you kind of recalibrate. It's no, we're still kind of going here, and going through the different buildings, the geography, it's kind of like, well, we're going here, oh, we're going there. When two characters would be in dialogue, at some point the camera would be like, all right, well, they're still talking, but I'm gonna go over here now, and it would kind of just go to somebody else. So just the decisions in which they decided to follow the story is definitely worth applauding. I don't know how to say this without having it be like, oh, well, like, for a fucking low budget movie, or like something that looks cheap. It doesn't look cheap at all, but you can tell, all right, we're going on a motorcycle, guy hops on a truck, but like just the attempt, like this is something where like, oh, we'll have the budget, let me plan accordingly, we'll cut here, we gotta like minimize our vision just for the sake of our available resources. Like the guy definitely put thought and, you know, idea over, you know, actual limitations budget wise, I'm assuming, which is worth applauding. I 100% congratulate that. I don't want to be like, yeah, I get it, guys. This is definitely on the AP level, deep end of the pool. I'm in my pool floaties, you know, I'm treading water.
I just want to say I haven't felt this challenge since Inception. I think it's on par with the genius that is Christopher Nolan. That's my final piece. With that, let's go into Cody's bits of recommendation.
All right, and as has been unfortunately quite common recently, but won't be soon, Nick is not here. Nick. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God. Smoke filter in your throat, bro.
Yeah, Nick, you're up first. What recommendations do you have for us?
You know, speaking of culture and something different, I watched two different animes than I normally watch. I watched Beastars on Netflix. It's like part Zootopia, part furry addiction. It was a really cool story. It's very coming of age, and it's very, I guess it would speak on addictions, but it's like herbivores versus carnivores and a lot of bunny sex, but it is a pretty good show. It had its second season drop and it gave me reason to watch it. The other one I'd recommend is Promised Neverland. Kids fighting to survive. It's about an orphanage that brings kids in and they only reach the age of like 13 and they figure, oh, they get adopted at that point. And lo and behold, when they turn 13 or whenever these powers that be want them to leave the orphanage, it is essentially to be harvested and eaten by these demons. It's all built on suspense and drama and just throwing these characters in this cat and mouse of like, how are we going to get out of here? And I absolutely was hooked on it. I loved it. I can't wait for the next season. I heard it's made. Heard it's supposed to be a really cool arc, and I can't wait to enjoy that too. Those are my two recommendations for today.
Izzy, what do you got for us? What recommendations do you have? Tell us what to watch. Tell the good people. Tell me. Tell Eddie. Tell Gerardo. Tell the floating brain behind Gerardo.
I have played a lot of Tribes of Midgard today. You're like a bunch of Nordic, like Viking-esque people defending the world tree. It is an over-the-top tower defense / hack and slash / survival game where you craft. It has a lot of stuff. And the art styles
/ Souls-like / roguelike.
Yeah, yes, it does have soul. Yeah, it is a roguelike. It's wild. It has all of these elements, and it has a nice art style that I really dig. That makes me just kind of like addicted looking at it, you know? I've been learning a lot of Japanese lately through some different apps, and one of my favorites that has been really great at memorizing kanji and like learning their meanings is Wanikani. The first 3 levels are free, and I've been paying ever since, but I think I now have more than 250 kanji memorized, and I've been getting incredibly excited whenever I see anything Japanese with the kanji I know, and I'm able to finally like start breaking it down. The second app I've been using, I'm going to mention too, because I just had a conversation with a couple of friends that have been learning different languages. He's also been using an app called Pimsleur, which I have been using, and it is 30 minutes a day. You could pick almost whatever language you want. I think they even have Esperanto, which I don't know why you would want to learn it, but they do.
All right. Aside from Esperanto lessons, Eddie, you got anything for us?
Hello, you working force man. How are you doing? I'm sure you have the same issues that I have going on. And oh gosh, gee diddly dang, your feet are sweaty and now you have footwork and it's incredibly painful. Well, you know what I recommend to you? Compound W.
They don't work.
They don't work at all. But you'll waste your money on these bandages and this freezing compound. and just end up having to shave off the wart because it fucking sucks. Oh shit! Actually, you know what? I do have a legit not joke one, but
Do I have to use the first one? I really don't want to Google royalty stock footage of feet.
No, you have to use the first one.
Awesome.
Shaman King. They did a remake of it on Netflix. It seems interesting. I watched like the first 5 minutes of it. I'm not a fan of the main character's voice, but you know, I'm willing to give it a chance. You get a spirit, you fucking shove him into some random inanimate object, and you turn it into a fucking weapon, man, and you just fucking beat the shit out of other people with it. It's fucking tight.
All right, I got a couple. I watched the Suicide Squad. The original Suicide Squad is probably my most hated movie of all time, and James Gunn just fucking knocked it out of the park. It was funny, the action was good, loved the cast, I loved all of the pot shots it took at the original in like just the right way to just kind of just take the piss out of them but still make a good movie without focusing too much on it. Super fun, absolutely recommend it. It's on HBO Max, so you don't have to go too far out of your way for it. I also watched the first episode, which is like an hour and a half long, so like the movie starter for the Star Wars animated series The Bad Batch. And if you liked the Clone Wars or you liked Rebels or anything to that effect, this is great. It follows a group of, exactly as the name implies, a group of clone troopers who are a bad batch and they don't follow Order 66. Super fun, love it, fucking rules. Pretty sure I had a third one that I can't remember. Watch The Expanse, Gerardo.
It's a good thing I have not deleted your the Expanse trailer or things that I put for the last edits, because I think it's like your fourth plug for the Expanse, but it's that good. I'm sure I haven't seen it yet, but that's great. You know what else is good?
First time I remember you talking.
I have no idea. Much like Izzy, I haven't actually seen anything. I've also been in crunch mode. Luca, I don't think anyone's done that one yet. Luca, the Disney Plus movie that came out, and a lot of people talked about it because it was on Disney Plus, but you know what? I think it is worth talking about. It's a really good Disney movie. There you go. Check it out, everybody. No. It's about these guys who are mermaids and they go on land and they become dudes, and basically they're trying to get, you know, the very prejudiced Italians, these goddamn filthy Italians, the prejudice toward the mermaids, you know, they're trying to teach them a lesson about how they shouldn't judge people based on the color or the scales of their skin, their fishy scales. They ride a Vespa, and it made me want to buy a Vespa, and I've never wanted to buy a Vespa, so that alone is an accomplishment. So check that out. Anyone else you should check out? You should check out everything Real Stupid Review show, including Peggy's Cauldron, which have not been any minis, you son of a bitch, Eddie. God.
I finished another one.
I wait eagerly, and also we have checked off the watch list. I remember. Look at me, my brain works. And for Cody, we have Toadstools and Fools.
I don't even have a.
No, that's what it is.
Oh, no, he has an Instagram for his dog though. You could follow.
Oh, you got to plug that.
Is there any more?
Let's plug it anyway.
Oh. All right, I think it's Apollo_the_mutt. I actually have a lot. Let's see if it's gonna show up.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
boy.
It's the boy.
Anyway,
Oh,
check out all them things. Check out all of us, because we're so goddamn sexy, boy. We're hunks. Anyway, thank you, Cody. Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, Nick. Thank everybody. And thank you, Apollo, the dog. And we'll see you guys. Waiting.
What we're gonna watch next, Gerardo? God.
Oh, did we do that after the outro?
We never put it in the end. It's gonna get cut out regardless.
You just interrupted the real soon, dude. We do it after the edit.
Real soon.
Nice.
Hard to really kind of speak on it. I did like how abstract everything looked. It did. There's surgery happening on screen right now. Are you actually cutting them off?
There you go. You're free. You're free.
It's okay. You suck at the straw.